r/TalesFromTechSupport, episode 36. Replication is the first stage of problem resolution. There's nothing worse than an intermittent problem you can't replicate. Some years earlier than this story about a rattling car, https://old.reddit.com/r/TalesFromTechSupport/comments/dk97z9/dbugging_luxury_car/. I was working for a different upmarket vehicle manufacturer. They were just about to launch their first highly expensive off-road vehicle. This was near the beginning of the trend that lead, via the Chelsea tractor, to today's ubiquitous SUV. They'd hired an off-road circuit for a couple of weeks to rehearse the press launch. A day or so before the launch they had a **bonding day for the senior management team at the off-road site. Seniors managers would, one by one, be kitted up like racing drivers, fireproof padded jumpsuit, helmet, goggles, gloves, and strapped in beside a trained stunt driver for a bumpy ride around the track. No, all of them were keen to do this. The finance director was uneasy, and it didn't help when the car with the manager before him hit a bump on a corner and rolled over a few times***. No one was hurt. The rolled over manager was comforted by paramedics while the vehicle was hauled round the back to be hammered back into pristine shape for the next day, and the driver took a coffee break. But the finance director is unhappy as he's strapped into the next vehicle with the next driver. "It's all going to be fine," the driver tells him as they shoot off. You see, the mistake my colleague made was, when he got to here, he did this. The vehicle hits the same bump, at the same angle and speed. And ***ROLLS over the same way ***RESOLUTION***, probably user error. Advise updating documentation. Temporary fix. Use supplied hammers ***TL. Doctor *** driver error. Colored tags. ISO 20000 processes. 12 pounds of lost revenue and accusations of "unauthorized leaks" by security cleared staff. I'd expect most readers here have heard of ITIL, a set of best practices for service management, often adopted by the clueless directors of understaffed and overworked departments in an attempt to boost effectiveness and efficiency. Such drives oft result in the production of process documentation that is so far removed from how staff work and what they do that said processes would rank alongside 50 Shades of Grey in Smith's fiction book charts were they one day published, with said processes also leading to unrealistic SLAs underpinned by fantastical garbage and inspiring nonsensical jargon-filled emails to staff, and all justified by the single phrase, "We work to ITIL and ITIL says this is how we should work." I have heard that line too many times from too many people, and it inspires such rage in me because what said managers often fail to realize is that, to steal a line from the great Captain Barbossa, ***ITIL is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules***. That is, ITIL doesn't say anything, it merely suggests, and you pick and choose those suggestions that best suit the way you work, implementing them in your business processes. If you want rules, you adopt ISO 20000, something you'd be crazy to do, unless you had to, say you were working for a large outsourcing company with major government contracts that depended on your having the certification. Because, in ISO 200,000, well, probably the simplest way to put it is that ISO 20000 is ITIL on steroids. Every could becomes a should, may becomes a must, suggestion becomes a rule. It is a standard that you are certified in, requiring the drawing up of some 30 or so processes that you are expected to work to because you will be audited on them, and you risk losing contracts if you fail to follow them. Some years ago, I worked for such a company on a government contract, one of several, that included adherence to ISO 20000 in their terms. This company, however, was going through some rough times, losing money, cutting costs, and selling off business units to raise capital and stay alive. In one such cost-saving measure, my business unit was forced to change their stationery supplier to a cheaper alternative. This led to complaints throughout the office, with staff being unable to order their favorite brand of roller ball pen, no more multicolored post-it notes, and envelopes that weren't sticky enough. But, after a year or so, People got used to the reduced range of stock on offer. We improved, we adapted, and we overcame. However, the shit hit the fan when we ran out of colored tags. Tags like these, https://i.img.com/jv6pl1n.jpguc. Our contracts involved the management of a large number of hardware assets, retrieving them from various customers for reconfiguration, refurbishment, testing, repair and disposal, then returning them more often than not exactly the same device they sent us when it turned out nothing was wrong. With around 80,000 devices managed by our team across multiple contracts, and around 1,000 devices held on site at any one time as stock, or at various stages through the repair cycle, we relied on a system that used tags to quickly identify the state of said stocks. A green tag indicated working stock, yellow indicated a fault that could likely be repaired in-house, red indicated a fault that needed to be sent back to the manufacturer, and black indicated a device due for disposal. When a device was ready for dispatch to a user, the tag would be removed, and a form would be wrapped around, or stuck to the device, indicating the customer, incident or change number, configuration, delivery address, etc. So when we started to run low on some of these colored tags, and went to order more, we were shocked when we discovered our new stationery supplier only sold tags in one color, brown. We informed our manager of the issue, who raised it with our on-site facilities representative, who said there was nothing that could be done. He decided to go over her head to the head of facilities, who said that the decision to change supplier had been made at a group level, rather than a divisional level, so nothing could be done. He then went to the stores department, who gave a similar response. They had no other suppliers on the books that we could use, so nothing could be done. So he referred it to the support director, who raised it with the operations director, who told us to buy the brown tags and deal with it. You might be wondering why my manager and our support director made such a fuss out of colored tags. You might be wondering why we didn't just buy the brown tags and be done with it. The reason why this wasn't an option was because the incident management processes for several contracts reference the use of these colored tags at multiple stages throughout the documents, and our asset management processes reference the tags just as many times. The approvals process for changes made to what totaled 14 impacted processes would have taken months. And we had just a few weeks worth of yellow tags left. During the interim, we'd be in violation of all these processes, and, with a newly won contract with ISO 20000 in the terms due to start in just 3 months, we had a certification audit due in the next 6 weeks. An audit we would fail if we started to use brown tags. A failure that would cost the division its certification, thus contracts worth around 1/3 of its revenue. We had to have these colored tags. And we had to have them now. When this was pointed out to the operations director, he requested our finance team open a new account with another stationery supplier. This was rejected, so the operations director escalated the issue to the divisional COO, who raised it with the divisional CFO, who got it done. Once the account was set up, my team leader placed the order, for a cost of around £12. Less than 24 hours later, the tags arrived, and we continued with business as usual, putting this tedious drawn-out issue to rest. Until a couple of weeks later, when my team leader got an email from someone he didn't recognize, marked "high priority", with a subject containing the phrase "unauthorized leakage". My team leader was known for being a seriously chill guy, always calm, composed, well-spoken, and I only heard him swear on 2 occasions in the 3 years I worked with him. His reaction to this email was one of those 2 occasions in GT, ***, oh my fucking god, ***, you could hear the office collectively stop anything they were doing when he muttered those words. And it's worth noting that, due to the contracts and clients we had, we were all security cleared, at least to an SC level, in some cases to a DV level. We were List-X contractor, and he was one of the holders of the keys to the sacred room nobody spoke about seriously. That room. It doesn't exist, so when he saw the words "unauthorized leakage" in the subject, well, I don't think I need to elaborate further. But then he opened the email, scrolled to the bottom to see who the sender was, and realized that it had come from the group's financial fraud team. And then he read the email and realized that it was just our company being our company. You see, it turned out that this new stationery supplier we had adopted over a year earlier was actually owned by the group. The same was the case with our IT hardware supplier, our IT support provider, our facilities contractors, and so on. It was often more expensive to use these *internal* suppliers than go external, but it meant that the group's accountants could gather together and have a good circle jerk over how many profitable businesses the company had. We made money off government contracts, our internal suppliers made money off us. Why only have one *profitable* business when you have 2 or 3 or more, all fed by the same single golden goose? By going to an external stationery supplier over the approved internal one, we had denied our approved internal one £12 of revenue, thus £12 had leaked from the business. And my team leader was facing a group-led disciplinary hearing and the removal of his access to SAP as a result. Cue even more waste of time emails to the support director, operations director, divisional COO and divisional CFO, who were thankfully able to swiftly clear things up. See why I described ISO 20000 as ITIL on steroids? Who would have thought that £12 worth of colored tags could cause such a ruckus? The Chrysal Login *setting***, 3 weeks ago at the office. I've gone partially Halloween and set up my lament configuration 3x3x3 in plastic skeletons, butt, and crow around my cubicle. Some of the teams have gone full All Hallows and set up black garland, jack-o'-lantern lights and crime scene tape. It's the perfect setting for some spooky time and GT. Ticket. We can't sign into $SCREAMS $BIGSOFTWARE $BS has decided, in their infinite wisdom, to phase out their chat application, a pipe, and move everyone over to the new one, which I will refer to as $SCREAMS, as usually tickets involved with this result in someone screaming about how they were migrated over to it without warning, which they were, and can't be migrated back. I don't want this case. I really don't do well with $SCREAMS. I'm pretty good with the email stuff. $SCREAMS just makes me want to yell real loud and GT. Me point standard greeting. I have your ticket, where a user can't log in GT. The doctor, a doc, yes, it's really strange. I can log into the user's account on my machine in the app, and we can log in on the browser. We can't log in on the app on his machine and GT. Let's set up a screen share and look, shall we? We get set up, and as we do so all the power in the building goes out. We've been hit by some pretty interesting weather around here. Back in August, a massive tropical storm level gale blew through and shredded a tree. Not knocked it down, the tree was just ********. Fortunately, we are still connected, and the UPS is humming along. It does add a layer of urgency to the case. Also, all of the lights are out. All that illuminates the office is the glare of LCD screens and GT. Let's see how this works in GT. A doc, okay. He proceeds to tree and log in. Failure. After the screen spins for a bit, we get a cannot complete this action at this time error and GT. We can get into the user's account online, right, and GT. A doc, sure. He proceeds to log into the web portal. Everything works in GT. Let's look into the version number to make sure the app is updated in GT. A doc, we can't get into that part in GT. Okay, let's go to the control panel. We opened the $GLASS_X control panel. Seriously, settings is less helpful, it hides way too much. Open the programs and check the version number and GT. That looks goo. What the? The install date was off. We were looking at the issue on a Thursday. The install date was Friday. As in, the next day in GT. You installed this tomorrow in GT. A doc, how? You're right. But I looked at the system clock, and a light bulb went off in GT. ****, why are you ***re trying to sign in 12 hours in the future in GT? A doc, what? How he proceeded to log into their domain controller. Sure enough, in GT, doc, we've been having issues with this server. Seems the battery on the motherboard is dying, and it was losing time. We've been trying to adjust it ahead a bit, to compensate for the time loss. He changed the clock in the OS, and we tested the $SCREAMS login. Everything looked good in GT. Me, why don't I check in tomorrow? Also, I'm not sure that will take. You may need to go into the BIOS to fix the system clock and GT. Doc, well, we'd have to do that on the weekend, but yeah, I'll look into it. Ominous echo effect. Asterisk WE should be fine for now. Fine for now. Now NOW asterisk 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 THE. Next day I called a doc at the agreed upon time and got his voicemail. I shot him an email to see if everything was fine. Everything was not fine. How not fine was left up in the air until later that afternoon, and GT, doc, so, the DC decided to jump backwards in time about 4 days, and no one could log into anything. I talked to our server admin, and he set things up, so the clock stopped reading from the motherboard, and started checking online instead. In GT, me, sounds like you need a new dealer in. In the end, everything was fixed, and no more time travel happened. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future. The amazing Chris Wall, Plan 9 from outer space. I don't need to upgrade, it just works. Hello and welcome back for another tale. Our characters today will be $ME, an unremarkable man with no distinguishing characteristics $DAD, my 62-year-old father who's been working on computers since a whole decade before I was born. Very savvy for his age. Our story begins when I meet with $DAD for breakfast and he tells me he's going to build a new computer to replace his aging one. He had an old custom-built machine with a dual-core Pentium and Windows XP SP3 with 2GB of RAM. He used it as a recording PC as he had a home recording studio. He's really excited and shows me his part list. Everything top of the line. I don't remember the exact specs, but I was pretty impressed. It was overkill even for the most ardent gamer, and the newest video games he played were old Atari/DOS games running on an emulator. I should note, this happened less than a year ago, and NBSP, a couple weeks go by, and I go over to his house to see what he built. He'd put all the new components in his old case and was banging on his desk and swearing loudly. The next exchange went as follows, and NBSP, and GT, $DAD, for whatever reason, Windows won't boot properly. The installer ran fine, but when I get to the desktop everything shifts partly off screen. And GT, $ME, did you install the graphics drivers? And GT, $DAD, I tried, but the installer failed. And GT, $ME, why? And GT, $DAD, hell if no, the damn thing is useless. And NBSP, upon further inspection, I'd been sitting on the couch this whole time. He was trying to install Windows XP SP3. The drivers wouldn't work because the hardware was never designed to run on Windows XP, so Windows tried to use generic drivers, which was causing some issues. And NBSP, and GT, $ME, that Windows XP is probably not going to work. You'll probably need to use Windows 7 or newer. And GT, $DAD, well, why should I upgrade? Windows XP just works, and it was the last good OS Microsoft made. They've been fouling it up since then. This setup will work just fine, I just need to play with it a bit. And NBSP, it did not work just fine. He very begrudgingly upgraded to Windows 7. The funny thing is, he knows how to use and even work on newer versions of Windows, but he doesn't want to upgrade past Windows XP for himself. He eventually got everything working as it needed to, but still mostly uses his laptop. His gateway laptop from 2003, that is. Some things never change. Hope you enjoyed. I've got new stories about my time at $MSP that I'll be posting later. Have a great week everyone. The tap 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 server. This is a story from the early 90s. Less of a user story than weird hardware errors. Back then when we didn't really had something special for PC servers. There was this special server that was supposed to run Novel Network 3.12. Yet it always kernel panicked at boot. Novel was very picky. Interestingly enough, it did boot DOS. It did do memory test. Now after testing everything, RAM, drives, cabled even power supply, mainboard out in case of a short, and whatnot, I somehow came to a solution. All except CPU, they never fail now do they, and mainboard switch. Hey, it's the 90s, those things are super expensive in today's money. An easy 4K, I had to tap the CPU 3 times, on/off, tap 3x, on/off, tap 3x boot. Now to narrow that behavior down, I tested all combinations in tapping, on/off. And here is the reproducible combination \1 above solution, from now on called solution, had to be done in that order. Any less or more taps don't work. Also on off in between 3 taps was absolutely necessary, I shit you not. \2 above solution has to be reapplied once server was shut down, and moved \3 solution was not necessary if booted server was only shut down and then turned on again without movement. \4 server can be moved once booted. It also survives on/off as long server is not moved in between. Tapping had to be applied to the CPU cooler, passive cooling good old times, so I left 3x5 and 1/4 slots open to enable tapping in case server is moved, and amp #X200B server ran 5 years without interruption before it got replaced. The connection drops. Sit with me as I tell you a tale from the early days of the internet. When you could still grep a mail spool in your free time. When setting up a Diablo server at work wasn't an instantly terminable offense. When installing a program on a server to make beeps at random times was still a good way to screw with your coworkers. I was a tech at a local cable company who had started selling internet. But this was one-way internet. DOCSIS 1.0, cable down, telco return. We had both internal and external modems, Motorola surfboards. And oh, the fun we had with the internals. Everything wanted IRQ9 in those days, and we'd have to go shuffling things around in the BIOS to get them to work. But that's not the fun of this story. A customer calls up and is telling me that their phone connection drops, so I peruse the logs, and sure enough, I see the drops and radials. He asks if I can come take a look. I explain that, if it's the phone line, there's nothing I can do about it. He needs to call his phone company. He asks if I can come check to be sure, so I hop in the van and head over. Sure enough, Camp 4x4, signal is great. I reiterate that it's a phone problem. Nice guy, he gets it. I've only got 500 or so users, so I can actually monitor how things are going for certain people, and I see that he'll stay connected for a day, and then he'll start having issues, dropping every 10 to 15 minutes for several hours or a day, then it goes back to staying connected. Guy calls back a week later, and lets me know that Verizon had been by, and his line is clean. I tell him what I've seen in his connection logs, and he confirms it. I'm kind of at a loss here. He says, since it takes a long time, is there any way you could just hang out until it happens? Guy's really pretty cool, so I agree. We set up an audible ping and are hanging out on the deck. The ping runs for an hour or so, and then drops. Aha, it's happened. Go inside and reconnect about 15 minutes later, it drops again. We are talking about possibilities, and I notice that a plane is going over. We're in a not the typical, but still frequently used flight path of a major airport. Start up a ping again, and sure enough, as the next plane goes over, the connection drops. Every time a plane would go over, the connection would drop, and that's how I found that commercial air traffic can disrupt phone lines enough to cause a modem to drop connection. What event are you trying to code? This is a Dev2DevTech support visit, so if I'm in the wrong place, please let me know. Backstory, about 15 years ago, I worked for a rent-a-programmer consulting company. One day they called a variety of us into a meeting at headquarters and told us that they were shifting to a strategy of deep and wide. I already heard the jokes. They wanted to get as many people into a company as possible, working in as many departments as possible. I think I was in the meeting because I was one of the senior programmers on my project. I was working with VB6/ASP/Oracle for a big oil company. One day my own site boss comes over and says that so and so on another project is having some trouble with her application and asked if I could go give her a hand. This wasn't too unusual as we had people from a lot of different disciplines being pulled in on a variety of other tasks, you know, because if you can program in this language, you can program in anything. Sometimes people needed a push in the right direction so that they could figure out how to proceed. I figured it was something like that. Little did I realize. Me, hi, so and so. I understand that you are having trouble with your application. Yes. I'm having some trouble getting it working. Me, no problem. Show me your code. How do I do that? Me, internally, what? Which event are you trying to code? Me, internally, oh boy. Okay. What is it that you are trying to do? She explains. Me, okay, that would mean that you need to right click on this element and click on the appropriate event. It will open the editor on that event. Out of curiosity, what languages do you know? VB. Me, Visual Basic. How long have you been programming in it? This is my first job with it. Me, you've never worked on a project with it? No. Me, do you know any other languages? No. So, in my company's efforts to go deep and wide, they hired someone who was probably right out of college or had gotten an MCSD with the directed training that was popular in those days. For the next few minutes, I gave her a tutorial about how to use the editor and how to write basic code to respond to different events. I didn't spend too much time as I had other tasks I needed to complete. When I was done, I went back to my boss and told him what I found. It wasn't too long after this that she didn't seem to work there anymore. I never found out what happened. Doctor, my boss asked me to help application programmer with VB knowledge that was having a problem. It turned out that she had never programmed anything in any language. There's only one printer. I work for one of those huge charity shop chains where you can donate clothes and we resell the good stuff. I have a knit background, but work in a different capacity, picking which clothes go where, to keep it short. Now, I work in the floor below ground. The production and logistics are all on the ground floor, and the offices are on the second. My boss knows I'm handy with computers, so if there's some minor trouble in the production or logistics department they call me. I was fixing just that in this instance. The server taking in weight data from the car and other scales didn't work. This usually requires pulling an Ethernet cable out and plugging it back again. The machine is in the logistics HQ and that's where my boss and logistics boss were and asked me for help with the printer **LOGBOSS** sitting at the desk. Has his delivery scheduler open with a dozen or so deliverers selected on screen in form of lines **MYBOSS** and **ME** are standing behind him **LOGBOSS**. So I want to print this list for **MYBOSS** **PRESSESF7** the print key, and nothing happens *THE. Program on screen proceeds to blink a number of times, about as many as there is lines SELECTED *MYBOSS *C *REACHES over and double taps F7 nothing. Now, they are not stupid. They know how printer queues work and that there's more than one printer in the building. There's dozens, in fact. Most of them on the second floor. I try to get a word in to try and help, But they both talk over me despite asking for help. **me. Can I just **logbos. **pressessf7. It just blinks. **me. But can I **myboss. F7 nothing. **me. Just let me. **logbos. F7. I don't get it. F7. The printer is on. They manage to either click the button or press F7 several times more before I finally wrestle the mouse away and right click the selection on the list. There is an option to print with details which opens typical squat Windows dialog with printer selection. Here's where **logbos** goes aha. I did that too. He did selected the only printer in the list. He identified it as his by the **BIGBRAND** name, same as his and everyone else's printer brand. The only other options on the screen are export to PDF, fax and other nobody usually uses. Unless you scroll to the left***. Q gasps when the whole printer selection shows up **logbos** spots printer with 09 in the name and says, oh, this is mine. We select that one and it prints. 12 pages **myboss. That's not what I wanted. I want what's on screen. **me. Well, we could use the snipping tool. **myboss. Okay, I know how to do that. Thanks for help. Case closed, but I just feel bad for whoever upstairs who now had a neat stack of hundreds of pages with shipping orders in their printer tray.